have been shaped by a remarkable series of studies made around 500 years ago by the great master of the Italian Renaissance, Leonardo da Vinci.
There's no anatomy book ever produced over time that can match the beauty of these drawings. You pick up these drawings and the sheer beauty of them. It is not just someone who can think and can apply sort of constructive thought. He can draw in such an engaging and beautiful way that you want to look at the drawings for other reasons. That is why I say, even now, even in 1,000 years' time, you can have a dialogue with these drawings.
Leonardo began his groundbreaking studies in the late 1400s, initially so he would better understand what made up the bodies that he drew and painted. Curiously, he had no actual training in anatomy or dissection. His research was ultimately a kind of giant compulsive project to satisfy his own voracious curiosity. For Leonardo, to study the functioning of the body was, in a way, to understand the soul. Among the greatest are these immensely complex drawings of the human skull. They're beautifully drawn, beautifully precise, full of rich detail, right down to the structures of the teeth. And in this one, he even attempts to pinpoint the seat of the soul, the sensus communis, hitting on what we now know to be the pineal gland. To draw is to look and look again, to take nothing for granted. Drawing was how Leonardo saw and thought, how he unlearned the mistakes of medieval anatomy and grasped some of the human body's most intimate secrets. In some cases, it would be hundreds of years before science finally caught up.
For example, if he describes the mechanism by which what you eat in your stomach doesn't spill back into your throat all the time. And that has only been worked out in the last few years. And the way he's thought through this predates modern thought absolutely. He drew from what he regarded as the truth with honest insight and observation. So you can actually start to communicate with him, and if you do that and you take these drawings seriously, there is information here which is relevant to modern day cardiac surgery.
Really?
Absolutely.
In the early 1500s, Leonardo's project culminated in a series of obsessively intricate studies of the human heart, and in a truly across-the-centuries collaboration, Francis Wells has actually used them as the basis for a pioneering form of surgery. He's studied how Leonardo broke down all the individual components of the heart, its openings and closings, the way the muscles expand and contract, how blood flows in and out, but, most importantly, how the valves operate. Leonardo had been studying the behavior of liquids at the same time. He worked on dams and canal systems, and I think that must have helped him to understand the liquid engineering of the heart. One of his great insights was the realization that the coils or vortices formed by blood flow are a vital part of the closure mechanism of the mitral valve, a fundamental component of the heart's efficient functioning. Leonardo's insight has led Francis Wells actually to change the way he operates on the mitral valve. And I know for a fact that the procedure, call it the Da Vinci cut, has been turning people who could barely walk into people who can run up the stairs 2 at a time.
Do you think that these drawings contain within them other things that people haven't still quite twigged yet, if one, you know?
Oh, I'm sure there are. I mean, one has to be careful in not romancing it too much and saying the solution to all our problems are here. They're not. But I think the essence of what we're seeing is someone who is absolutely conspicuously honest. They're searching for the truth. Nowadays, by thinking about these observations that he made and taking it seriously, it can take you down lines of thought that you might work out yourself with other information that's available.